All right, so I'm going to have group one go first. So if you were in group two or group three, make sure you're listening to Aiden because he's going to give you the similarities and differences to type into your worksheet. So Aiden, whenever you're ready, you can go right ahead.
The similarities is freedom of speech and the right to bear arms.
Okay, so
We have that.
hold up just for a second, Aiden. So anybody who didn't hear that, the similarities for the Mexican Constitution are the freedom of speech and the right to bear arms. So make sure you're putting that in your worksheet if you're in group two or group three. Go ahead with your differences, Aiden.
The difference is that the Mexican government or the Constitution outlines that the preservation of outlines preservation of indigenous people. So I would just put preservation of indigenous.
Okay. And what's your other one?
That all people are born equal.
Okay. So I believe, from what you said in your group, that they specifically mentioned genders, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we sort of have similar wording, but they make it a lot more explicit on what they mean in their document, right? Okay, so if you didn't get that, the differences for the Mexican Constitution are that it explicitly says they protect indigenous people, and they explicitly say that all genders are equal. So group two, I believe, is Luke. So if you're in group one or three, make sure you're listening to Luke. Go ahead with your similarities, Luke.
Alright, for Germany, we had the similarities. Freedom of religion and all men and women are created equal. However, for some differences, we had the president is in term for 5 years, and the president can sign laws without them running through office.
All right, so for similarities, they got freedom of religion, which we talked about that a little bit earlier in our previous activity. And they state that men and women are equal. So in their document, they word it a lot like our Constitution is worded. For their differences, president is in office for 5 years. And their other one was the president can sign laws without it having to go through any sort of Congress or anything like that. We do have that ability in the U.S., but that's not something that's it's worded a little bit differently in our Constitution, where they're called executive orders. That isn't explicitly given just as a general ability of the president in our Constitution. Good job, Group 2. Group 3, I believe, was Pat, right? Pat's my group leader.
Yeah, we ran out of time.
Okay.
We don't have a second difference.
Okay.
We have one though. I don't know if that's.
That would be perfectly fine. Give me your similarities first, Pat.
Alright, they both have the right to human and civil rights, and they both have the labor and health of the people will be protected and they are also guaranteed minimum wage. And then my difference was the Russians don't have a death penalty. They can't capital punishment.
All right, so the difference was that they do not have a death penalty. I believe you were breaking up a little bit. Your similarities were that they protect human and civil rights. Was that correct, Pat?
Yeah.
And what was your other one? Sorry, can you repeat that?
The labor and health of people will be protected and guaranteed minimum wage.
Okay, so a guaranteed minimum wage and the protection of labor. So that might be a little bit, it might not necessarily be related to our Constitution, but that is definitely laws that we have in this country now. So that's perfectly okay. You're comparing governments. That's what we're looking for. Everybody, it's okay if you just have that one difference for Russia. I'm not going to mark you down for that. You are all good. Mr. Wilson is going to go over something really quickly with you. You're going to need about 10, 15 minutes of your time. Just make sure you turn those in. You're not going to have any homework that's due today or this weekend or anything like that.
What was the second similarity for Russia?
The second similarity
For Russia. Yeah.
for Russia, okay. It's that they protect labor and they have a minimum wage. So just submit those really quick, and Mr. Wilson is going to go over something with you in just a second.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
what was the second difference for Germany?
Second difference for Germany was that the president can sign into laws without having to go through what their Congress or Senate would be. Everybody else good? All right, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Wilson.